Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to unpack complex topics, aiming for those aha moments for you. Today, we're diving into the really fascinating world of high-end watches, specifically that whole idea of quality, of reassurance. When you look at something truly special, maybe the peak of craftsmanship, how do you actually know it meets the absolute highest standards?
That's a great question, a fundamental one, really. And it's exactly why watch certifications exist. They're meant to offer, well, a transparent way to verify excellence. But while many focus mostly on precision, some certs go much, much further. They scrutinize almost everything about a watch: design, build, performance, the works.
Absolutely. So our mission today, to pull back the curtain on one of the most demanding certifications out there,
Yeah.
to Qualité Fleurier or QF certification.
Yeah.
We're going to explore what makes it so incredibly tough, look into its unique history, and then zoom in on a specific modern masterpiece that really embodies its standards. That's the new Chopard L.U.C Qualité Fleurier 20th Anniversary Edition.
Yeah, and this deep dive, it's really for anyone listening who wants to get beyond, the surface level to truly grasp what separates different levels of excellence in watchmaking. You should walk away with a richer appreciation for the sheer engineering, the artistry, and frankly, the dedication involved in a truly exceptional timepiece.
Okay, so let's talk about quality and fine watchmaking. How do these certifications step in? How do they provide that crucial reassurance for collectors, for enthusiasts? You probably heard of COSC, right? The official Swiss Chronometer Testing Institute. That's kind of the foundation, strictly focusing on a movement's precision.
That's the baseline, yeah. But then you have this whole ecosystem, really, of other initiatives that have popped up, each one trying to define quality differently, often more broadly.
Like what else?
Well, beyond COSC, you get things like the Master Chronometer certification. That expands testing to the entire watch, looking at performance under real-world conditions, like magnetic resistance, which is a big one now.
Okay.
Then there's the Poisson de Genève, the Geneva seal, known for its strict aesthetic finishing rules and its focus on, regional origin, making sure it's actually made in Geneva.
And some brands have their own seals too, don't they?
Exactly, proprietary ones, like the Patek seal. That guarantees not just quality, but also lifetime brand support, which is quite something. But amidst all of these, Qualité Fleurier has carved out this unique and incredibly demanding niche. It's widely seen as one of the most stringent, maybe the most demanding, for Swiss watches today.
It's pretty amazing how it started, isn't it? The whole genesis of Qualité Fleurier goes back over 2 decades. And it wasn't just one brand's idea, it was a collaboration. A powerful one, actually, for independent horlogerie manufacturers in the town of Fleurier.
That's right. High-end makers, capable of doing almost everything in-house. You had Chopard, Bouvet, Parmigiani, and Vaucher Manufacture. They teamed up, got support from local authorities too, and set up the independent Fleurier Quality Foundation.
And what was their goal?
Ambitious, really. To promote objective testing of Swiss finished timepieces, testing them to the absolute highest craftsmanship standards. It wasn't just about claiming quality, it was about objectively proving it, setting a new benchmark.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting. A bit of a plot twist, maybe. Today, Chopard is the only one still using this certification. What does that tell us? About their commitment, maybe? Or about the certification itself?
That's a very insightful point. Chopard's solitary commitment today, it speaks volumes. It highlights their dedication to this extremely high bar they've set for themselves. But maybe it also hints at how challenging economically, time-wise, such a comprehensive certification can be for others.
Makes sense.
It makes this new watch not just a watch, but a real statement of an enduring brand philosophy. Most certifications focus primarily on movement precision, like the ISO 3059 standard, COSC, or the testing labs in Geneva, Besançon, Glashütte, Japan.
Right, the timekeeping part.
Exactly. But QF, like some newer labels, Master Chronometer, for example, takes it further. It certifies the entire watch, including things like resistance to magnetism and water resistance.
So the QF difference, it really broadens that definition of quality. It's not just precision, not just the whole watch's basic function. It also demands extraordinary finishing, right? And crucially, specifies that parts have to be manufactured entirely in Switzerland, or even specific parts of Switzerland.
That's correct. It's similar in concept to the Poisson de Genève regarding origin and finishing, but arguably even stricter on the details of Swiss provenance and the internal finishing quality.
Wow, so it's like a gauntlet of tests then.
It really is a gauntlet. Since it started back in 2001, Any watch wanting that Qualité Fleurier stamp has to go through this series of assessments. It's pretty much unmatched. Covers aesthetic quality, technical quality, shock resistance, precision, and long-term durability.
So break it down for us. How does a watch even start to prove itself worthy?
Okay, test one. It absolutely must pass the standard COSC tests first. That's the entry ticket.
The chronometer precision check. Got it.
Then test two. It faces the Chronofiable testing protocol. This is for reliability assessment, and it's demanding.
Chronofiable.
Yeah.
What does that actually involve?
Well, think 3 weeks of intense aging tests. Hot conditions, cold, damp, repeated pushing and pulling on the winding stem, exposure to magnetic fields, and numerous impacts, shocks.
This is not just a quick lab check. It's simulating years of real-world abuse almost, bumps, climate changes.
Exactly. The idea is to ensure the watch isn't just beautiful, but genuinely robust, built to last through actual wear.
Okay, COSC passed, Chronofiable survived.
Right.
What's the final hurdle?
Test 3. The watch, now fully assembled in its final configuration, is tested using the renowned Fleuritest simulator.
Ah, the Fleuritest. I've heard of that. It was specifically developed for QF, wasn't it?
It was. Its purpose is unique. It reproduces the conditions of normal wrist wear over a full 24-hour cycle. It alternates between passive phases, like when you're resting, active phases, like walking, and even very active sports-related phases.
So it's like putting the watch through a mini version of its life on your wrist before it even gets there.
That's a good way to put it. A condensed life cycle test on the finished product.
And after all of that, what's the precision benchmark they have to hit?
Incredibly tight. The rate variation of each assembled timepiece must stay within 0 and +5 seconds per day.
0 to +5.
Right.
Not even losing time, just gaining a tiny bit at most
Yeah.
per day after all those stress tests.
That's the standard. Think about that less than 5 seconds deviation over 24 hours under simulated real-world conditions. It's exceptional.
It really is,
Yeah.
but it's not just about the guts and performance, is it? QF is also big on the aesthetics, the craftsmanship.
Oh, absolutely. Qualité Fleurier has incredibly stringent requirements for the art of craftsmanship, specifically the finishing and decoration of the movement itself. And this really touches on what true artisanal quality means in watchmaking.
How specific do they get?
Very specific. The Fleurier quality foundation standards are meticulous. They demand decoration be visible, like on the maximum thickness of the plate or visible parts of bridges, and crucially, no visible burrs allowed. Functional zones of steel parts must be polished. Shaped parts need beveling, polishing, and, where possible, those fine file stroke lines.
So removing tiny imperfections,
Mhm.
polishing hidden surfaces, that actually affects performance too, right? It's not just looks.
Precisely. Every bevel, every polished surface, every removed burr significantly reduces friction and wear inside the movement. That directly translates to better longevity, more precise timekeeping for decades. It's that unseen engineering that defines true, deep quality.
That level of scrutiny, it's almost obsessive. You really have to admire the patience and skill involved. And you mentioned provenance, the watch head, meaning everything except the strap and buckle.
Has to be 100% manufactured in Switzerland. That reinforces the Swiss-made promise to an extremely high degree.
Okay, so we have this incredibly detailed picture now of what Qualité Fleurier demands. Its intent. Let's bring it to life. Let's talk about a watch that embodies all this, the new Chopard L.U.C Qualité Fleurier 20th Anniversary Edition.
Perfect transition, because this watch is a true celebratory milestone. It directly connects the certification's history to Chopard, its most loyal and now sole proponent.
Right, because the very first watch ever to get the QF stamp back in 2005, that was a Chopard L.U.C, wasn't it?
It was indeed. Specifically, the L.U.C Qualité Fleurier, the one famous for that distinctive black and white tuxedo dial. Very classic, sharp
I
contrast.
remember seeing pictures of that. A real looker.
And since that first one, only limited edition watches from Chopard's L.U.C collection have actually managed to pass the QF tests. It's always been selective. Chopard has built this consistent history with QF. You had the L.U.C Tech Qualité Fleurier in 2009, the Tourbillon QF Fairmind in 2014, another chronometer QF also in 2014.
Fairmind Gold, too. That's interesting.
Yes, ethical sourcing is a big part of Chopard's philosophy now. Then the XPS Twist QF Fairmind in 2017, the QF Jubilee in 2021, and just this year, the QF in Lucent Steel.
So quite a lineage. And now, the star of our deep dive, the new Chopard L.U.C Qualité Fleurier 20th Anniversary Edition. Celebrating that heritage, looking at the design, the aesthetics, there seems to be a clear link between This new one, that original 2005 model, and even the recent Lucent steel one.
There absolutely is. You can see they share the same overall case shape, the same general dial layout. It's unmistakably part of that family. It presents as a very fine dress watch, a modern take, certainly, with elegant contemporary proportions.
How big is it?
It measures a classic 39 millimeters in diameter. Same as the 2024 Lucent steel version, actually, a size that works really well for a dress watch today.
And the case details. You mentioned the finishing requirements for QF.
They really shine here. Look at those finely sculpted lugs. They're individually welded on, which is a high craft detail. That's a key feature carried over directly from the very first QF watch.
Nice continuity.
Yeah.
And the material.
For this anniversary edition, Chopard went with 18-karat ethical yellow gold. You have these beautifully polished surfaces on the bezel and the case back, which contrast really nicely with the vertically satin-brushed case flanks.
Sounds elegant. How thin is it?
It comes in at 8.92 millimeters, so remarkably thin and elegant. Maybe not the absolute thinnest L.U.C ever, but certainly very slender. Overall, it's just a superb blend of refinement and a touch of vintage flair, really fitting for a sophisticated dress watch.
Okay, let's talk about the dial, the color choice. It seems quite deliberate, maybe a bit striking.
It is striking and perhaps, yeah, a bit polarizing for some tastes, but it's clearly a direct tribute to that original 2005 QF model. It uses the same two-tone sector-style layout.
Describe it for us.
Sure. You've got this lovely sunburst satin-brushed finish in the center section, then an elegant circular satin finish on the chapter ring where the hours are, and a snailed sort of concentric circle pattern on the small seconds counter at 6 o'clock. The main dial, made of brass, is primarily gold-colored. But then you have this rich chocolate brown hour chapter ring, and the transfers, the printing, are also brown.
And the hands and markers.
The hands are gilded, gold-colored, and they use that iconic syringe shape seen on earlier L.U.C Qualité Fleurier models. They're paired with these sharp, faceted, applied hour markers. Very refined.
Now, looking closely at this dial, is there anything that jumps out at you? Something surprising, maybe. An unexpected detail.
You know what? There is actually. What immediately caught my eye, and I think might surprise you too, are the tiny inclusions of superluminova.
Lume. On a dress watch like this.
Exactly. Small dots next to the hour markers and on the hands themselves. It's quite a rare feature on such an elegant, classically styled dress watch. It suggests, I think, a thoughtful blend of classicism with a nod to modern practicality. You get that low-light legibility, a functional touch on a very refined piece.
That's really interesting. A subtle modern touch.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can't talk about an LUC watch, especially a QF-certified one, without diving into the movement, right?
Absolutely not. The movement is crucial. We're looking at the caliber LUC 96.09 Ella here, and this is the direct descendant of the truly iconic LUC 96.01 L. That movement has been a cornerstone of the L.U.C collection since way back in 1996.
And its origins are pretty notable too, aren't they?
Very notable. It was conceived together with Michel Parmigiani himself, the founder of the Parmigiani Fleurier brand, and later a key figure in the QF Foundation. The Caliber 96 project was completed in 1996. The brief from the Schuffel family, who owned Chopard, was apparently quite simple for Parmigiani.
What was it?
Basically, create a thin, modern, and highly decorated automatic caliber, something that would firmly cement Chopard's place among the absolute top tier of watchmakers. And, well, it worked. This movement family has gained almost as much recognition as the watches themselves, maybe even more, for its technical brilliance and beauty.
So technically speaking, what makes it so special?
Well, first off, it's incredibly thin for an automatic, just 3.30 millimeter. That thinness is partly thanks to the micro rotor.
Ah, the small winding weight integrated into the movement level.
Exactly. Made of 22-karat ethical gold here. It allows for a much slimmer profile compared to a full-size central rotor. But despite being so thin, it packs a powerful 65-hour power reserve. That's nearly 3 days.
How do they manage that in such a thin movement?
That's thanks to Chopard's clever twin technology. It uses 2 stacked mainspring barrels, one on top of the other. It's a signature feature of the LUC collection, boosting power reserves significantly without adding much bulk.
Very smart engineering. And the finishing. We talked about how important that is for QF.
And it's fully on display here. This in-house movement is meticulously finished. You see circular graining, beveling, mirror polishing, Côte de Genève stripes, all those intricate decorative techniques. They're not just for show. They meet those stringent Qualité Fleurier standards for both beauty and mechanical precision.
And just to confirm this movement, And the
Yeah.
entire watch, they've passed all those tests we discussed.
Absolutely. Certified by COSC for precision, passed the tough Chronofiable testing protocol, and successfully run the gauntlet of the Fleuritest simulator, it's earned that QF stamp.
It's quite the package. And the strap.
To complete the look, it comes on a supple brown calfskin strap. It has elegant beige top stitching, which gives it a nice vintage touch, and it's closed by an ethical 18-karat yellow gold pin buckle.
Sounds lovely. So if you're listening and thinking you might want one, good luck.
Yeah. Availability is tight. It's a highly limited edition. Only 20 pieces are being made for the entire world.
20 pieces globally. Wow. And the investment for such a rough, highly certified piece.
The price is set at CHF 29,200. That translates to about EUR 33,000 or USD 32,300, depending on the market and exchange rates.
Okay, so we've really journeyed through the incredibly rigorous world of the Qualité Fleurier certification today. From its origins as this bold collaboration, through its unparalleled testing, its demands for precision, durability, and fine finishing.
Right. And we've seen how this Chopard L.U.C Qualité Fleurier 20th Anniversary Edition perfectly exemplifies that peak of watchmaking excellence. It's a stunning testament to Chopard's, well, enduring commitment to an exceptionally high standard.
It really is. Which brings us to a final thought.
Indeed. Given the growing number of different watch certifications out there, and Chopard's unique, solitary commitment to Qualité Fleurier, even as its original partners moved on, it does raise an interesting question, doesn't it?
What's that?
In this world of increasing complexity, more consumer choice, how might these kinds of extreme commitments to quality, like Chopard's with QF, actually redefine what we expect from luxury goods in the future? And maybe more profoundly, what legacy will this singular dedication leave for the future of fine watchmaking itself? How does it keep pushing the boundaries of what true excellence means?
That's definitely something to mull over. A fascinating question about the future of quality and legacy in watchmaking.